Yesterday afternoon, we cut our hay out here at Piney Grove, and I'm gonna go check it this morning. It should be ready for tedding. And if you don't know what tedding is, it simply means flipping your hay over, right? Instead of putting it in windrows and getting it ready for baling, you're just kind of flipping it over to expose maybe the wet side that needs a little bit more drying. Now I need to get a moisture meter because you really shouldn't rely on like your hand to decide if the hay is ready, but this top side is mostly grayish. There's a little bit of green here on this top side, so it probably could stand to dry a little bit more, but as soon as you get a little bit underneath there, I can just feel the moisture in it. Like this right here is completely gray or brown and dry, but underneath it's just as green as when we cut it yesterday. So I think it'd be a good idea to ted it. Big thing about tedding is you want to make sure that you get a good pattern. Otherwise, you'll end up putting it in big piles or windrowing it. And I'll show you what we're going to use to ted. The machine that we have is called a belt rake, and it can ted or make windrows just by removing one piece of it. I'll link the video to when we cut this hay down below, but we didn't cut it all. You'll see a lot of green grass left up there. I wanted to leave some tall grass for some mower tests coming up. And also because we don't need the hay. And anytime you cut hay, you're reducing nutrients from the land. So until we actually need the hay, we're not going to do like a complete cutting out here. But this hay won't go to waste. We're going to use it for landscaping around the new house and also give a bunch to our neighbor. He has 4 horses and they just love to eat our hay. So because we're tedding, I'm going to go ahead and take off this hay stop. And this hay stop is what makes your windrows. And these tines right here throw the hay against this stop. And that's how you make those tall windrows so that you can bale. But we won't do that until either later today or tomorrow when the hay is dry and ready to bale. If you've never seen how a belt rake works, I'm going to show you. I'll turn on the PTO while I'm over here safe, far away from it. You can see it's rotating that way. It would throw the hay against the hay stop over here. But without the hay stop, what it'll do, it'll be in tedding mode and it'll just sling that hay across there. When we raked last year, we had the rake level, like both wheels set at the same setting. But after talking to the guys at Tractor Tools Direct, and they are really, really great guys out there. We've got Pat, Marty, Jason, Matt, all of them. Just very good at communication. They actually use this equipment. So it's not like these other retailers where you know, it comes from China, it's in a warehouse and it ships to you, and good luck getting any kind of advice of how to put it together or how to use it. These guys will stay on the phone with you as long as it takes for you to get it right. But after sharing our videos with them, they said you might get better results if you tilt the rake a little bit. So we got the rake a little bit higher on that side, the side closer to the camera than this side, and that should give us better tedding. So if you're an expert at producing hay, raking, baling, all the processes involved with making hay, be sure to chime in the comments down below. We're not on here professing to be hay experts. In fact, when I was growing up and we were making hay, we would cut it and then windrow it and bale it. I don't remember even tedding being a word in our hay vocabulary, but it is important for even drying of the grass. So learning more every year as we go and we do this. And one of our commenters last year on our hay tedding and raking video, she said her husband teds it like 3 or 4 times and just to get it like that perfect consistency before he bales. You're just trying to trap as many nutrients as you can and get it to that right moisture content. And this is all grass. If this was like alfalfa or clover, then you wouldn't want to ted it as much because then it would knock off all the leafy material, all the leaves and everything, and that's where your nutrients are. But this is just grass, so you're not really going to harm it per se by tedding it. But this here wasn't as thick as where we were earlier, so this all looks brown and gray on the top. So we're going to ted this first. Man, I just looked back at the footage I just shot, and I had you guys really zoomed in on my face. I thought I had it at more of a wide angle, so sorry about that. So I don't want it to dig in the dirt. So I'm looking to make sure everything's set right. I'll turn the tractor up faster, the RPMs here in a minute. Just making sure I'm barely skimming the top there. Looks good. Got clear on my left where I can throw the hay to. Let's get some. So I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, man, he's just ripping down there, spreading all that hay out. Boy, that looks like fun. Well, I forgot that there's a strategy involved. You don't want to throw hay on top of hay, but I couldn't come back that side because it would have thrown hay into the green grass. So I came back through here and threw that hay that way. That's all going to have to be moved. And the reason I did that is because I couldn't come over here on my return pass because it would have thrown hay into the green grass. So now we're gonna go down here and make a pass and push that this way so that I have some room to push it back that way. It all makes sense, trust me. I remember now, it's coming back to me what I had to do. And this is what happens when you're, not practiced at something. Hay growers, people that make hay, they know all of this stuff and it's muscle memory to them. It's been basically a year since I've used this equipment, so I got to kind of relearn, reset, and I think I'm good now. But this is why custom hay balers don't want to bale small properties. It's impossible to get somebody to come out here and bale this 4 or 5 acres that we have to bale because of all of this. I mean, normally that would be cut, but like I said, I'm saving that for demonstration of grass cutting, and I don't need the hay right now, so I'd rather the nutrients stay in the ground until I actually need the hay. But even if all this was clear cut, we had it custom baled a few years ago. We got 10 of those big 5x5 or 6x6 round bales, and then the guy wouldn't come back. He just wouldn't come back. He said, it's just not worth my time and effort for 10 of those bales. He goes, I got to get my tractors here. Then he had to windrow it, then he had to bale it, and then he had to haul the bales off. And that's a lot of driving, a lot of gas, a lot of effort. And that is the hole in the market that Tractor Tools Direct is addressing with this hay equipment, because while it's fairly expensive, like a hay package is $10,000 or $12,000, I think, it lasts basically forever. It's these are low maintenance pieces of equipment. But the beauty of it is that you can bale your own hay on your time when the weather's right, when the conditions are right for you, and you don't have to rely on other people. And I just kind of wanted to explain why, hay baling is going to be unique to your situation and your particular piece of ground, and it may not always be efficient. So I'm going to do a double path here, because if I don't have a double path of clean area, then the belt rake will just throw it into that growing green grass there. Okay guys, now I've got the field set up properly. We can lay this hay out, get it to dry, and go around in a circle and not waste a bunch of time, with passes not doing anything. It took a minute, but we got it. And this is what goes into quality hay. We're not just baling it as it lays. We're trying to get it spread out, dried properly, and then we'll get it windrowed and get it so that we have quality hay and not just, as it lays, baling it as it lays. Once I got the field set up properly, I could just rip. And this is a good example of what I was trying to avoid. You can see a little bit of this cut hay went into the green grass, but that's no problem. It's got to be raked again and windrowed. But for the most part, I kept it on this bare area I created. And what I did is, rather than taking the full belt rake width and throwing it, because that's what I did there, I grabbed too much with the belt rake, I moved the tractor over so I only got like half a pass, and that way I was only throwing half as much grass, and that was better. It spread it out better, and it didn't spread it as far. So I'm real happy with those results. And that's just the things you got to do and figure out when you got tight spaces where you want to bale hay. Guys, as I was spreading it out, I could watch it dry. So the top of this was basically brown already, and then I was exposing the green, and it's still, I don't know if I'll ted it again, we'll see, but it's already dried what I've exposed that was green here, and this hot Florida sun has already dried it out and taken a lot of green out of it. So I don't know if I'll be able to bale today, but I'll probably ted it one more time. And depending on how green it is, maybe even start to windrow it. I don't know. We'll have to check that in a few hours. But I got this section over here that I need to do. That's pretty thick grass. I'm gonna have the same problem with throwing it. So I'm gonna have to create an edge and then go around it in a circle like I did over here. But here it is midday. And I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but there are moisture droplets of dew still on there. I mean, it's all throughout here. If this was taller grass and you were to walk through it, you'd get your feet wet, and that's what we're trying to avoid, is any wet grass. You can see there's a little bit there in the shade, so I want to throw that out in the sun. When you have small acreage and you want like a pretty pasture with trees and stuff, it's not going to be as easy a job to have consistent high quality hay unless you do tedding. Unless you do things like this to push that grass that's in the shade out into the sun so it can dry properly. Okay, I got it all done, but it wasn't without some difficulty because the camera overheated like it normally does when we're recording out here in the summer in Florida. But I put it in the fridge for a few minutes and now we're back up and running. But all these little paddocks or pastures or whatever, they all created their share of challenges with getting that grass out where it could dry properly. And you just got to work at it. You just got to figure out a pattern. And a couple of times I threw the grass to the wrong side and just had to figure it out as I went. But let me show you what we got here as far as drying and what we were able to get done. But this is all the stuff that we pulled out from underneath the shade of the tree, and it's a lot of it is brown now. A lot of it is dried down really good. There's still some greenery in it, and I hated that I had to bunch it up like this because that's gonna hinder it from drying. So I'm probably gonna ted it again, especially these big bunches. And it's hard to ted as far as just go over it lightly because then the rake doesn't want to pick it up. But all in all, it's in better shape than it was when we started the video, and made the cowbirds happy. I went through that center section over there, and there was just tons of frogs taking off. So I'm sure we got some fat and happy cowbirds. But that's going to wrap it up for today's video, folks. We'll come back and show you the windrowing and the baling in a future video. And also, if you didn't know, we're building a house out here at Piney Grove. Well, it's actually done. We're expecting our last shipment of furniture today. Like in the next couple of hours, there should be a truck coming down the driveway with everything that we ordered to finish out the house. So if you missed any of that house build, there's a playlist down below, and that'll show everything from scraping the dirt to putting on the roof to tiling the floors, insulating it, painting, everything. We captured every part of the process. So if you enjoy that type of thing, or if you're thinking about building a house, check out those videos down below. But until next time, y'all take care out there, and remember, life's short, tractor hard, and check out these 2 videos right here. They're pretty cool too.